Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Tech Musings. So yeah, if you're new to the channel and this is your first video you've watched, welcome. Those who return regularly and are friends of the channel, welcome back. And yeah, if you are new, then you might want to consider subscribing to the channel. There's always plenty of content on the channel, got lots of interesting stuff coming up, and you know, there's obviously Magic the Gathering stuff here, which this video is about, but then we've got other stuff about coding and various other things, IT generally, music. I'm going to try and record my first video where I'm going to delve into the massive world that is the world of ice and fire. So yeah, well, yeah, loads of stuff to look forward to and check into. So, where are we in the grand scheme of things in the timeline of Standard? So we're here. This was us last week, and this week's deck, which we'll see in a moment, in terms of what it incorporates, but Standard as a whole was this. So 9th edition, the whole of Ravnica block, Cold Snap, and the whole of the Time Spiral block. And then next week, when I come to look at this, also going to be interesting because we get that curious thing that you saw back at this point in Magic's history where there's like this little rotation of core set. So core sets were every 2 years. So next week, this is what Standard's going to look like. So 9th edition drops out, 10th edition comes in, and it's that way for a few months, and then we lose Ravnica. And we start to get Lorwyn coming in. So, what are we going to be looking at in terms of the tournament that I want to pull the deck from? So yeah, GP Montreal. I'm going to pull it from a GP. If I haven't said it enough times already, yeah, it's block constructed, and the thing I always tend to say is one of my favourite formats. And this is the full block constructed. You know, where you've got all three sets, as opposed to, you know, when the second set comes out and they have block constructed, then you obviously just get the two. So yeah, and then we got the lead in to the Pro Tour, which is actually two-headed giant booster draft. I tend to stay clear of doing anything draft wise. I did do it one episode, but the obviously the decks are incredibly have a high degree of variance in them, so it means I have a phenomenal amount of tabs. So yeah, my first choice is to try and go for a standard deck in these episodes. If not, then block constructed is a nice follow-up. Failing that, then there's always theme decks to fall back on. So what are we going to look at? Well, rather predictably, the winning deck, which was a green-white aggro deck, a Grand Prix Montreal 2007. And you can see we've got, it was at least one other green-white aggro here, named as such. So, what do we got? What's this? Call-Ash Control. Ooh, okay, cool. Yeah, so we're going to see some cool cards this week. In terms of just, at the time, this must have been super interesting at the time to suddenly see cards with wildly different card frames. And yeah, we'll get a look at our good old friend Goyf, Tarmogoyf, in its original format, original aesthetic. So let's flick through some of the decks here so you can get a feel for what the what was out there. So you can see we've got top 8 and then they've got a couple of other decks here from the top 16. So yeah, this was the winning deck. But yeah, lots of interesting cards. You get quite, even though it is block constructed, just because of the nature of the sets in the block, all 3 sets. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting card mix here. You'll see what I mean in a moment. Okay, so 19 creatures. And I have this in, mana value order. So let's go through these. So we've got 4 Riftsweepers, which is a 2-drop, 2/2 for 2. And when it comes into play, choose target face-up cards that's removed from the game. Its owner shuffles it into his or her library. So there was some, if you remember, I think last week, there was some exile shenanigans going on around this time, which we never really saw again until was it a later, I think it was an Eldrazi themed set. So yeah, 4 Riftsweepers, 3 Saffi Eriksdotter, so green white 2/2 legendary creature human scout, and you can sack it, and when target creature is put into your graveyard from play this turn, return that card to play. We've got 4 Serra Avengers, 2 white, 3/3. And you can't play it during your first, second or third turns of the game. And once you do get to play it, it's got flying and vigilance in addition to being a 3/3. So here we have Tarmogoyf. 4 of those, 1 and a green for star, 1+ star. So its power is equal to the number of card types among cards in all graveyard, and its toughness is equal to that number +1. And at that point, the card types as it's spelled out here would have been artifact, creature, enchantment, instant, land, planeswalker, sorcery, and tribal. We've got 4 Mystic Enforcers, 2 green white, 3/3, protection from black. It's got threshold on it. So it gets +3/+3 and it's flying as long as 7 or more cards are in your graveyard. So interesting in that it's sort of, playing on or riffing on what's in the graveyard theme, although slightly different than the way Tarmogoyf does it. You'll also notice this has unusual card frame on it because for the first set of the block, the time shifted slot was older cards, and they looked identical pretty much apart from the set symbol and a slight bit of font shenanigans going on. If you compare them sort of side by side with the original Mystic Enforcer with the old borders, you'll see what I mean. So that's our 19 creatures. So 4/3/4/4/4. We've got 8 enchantments in the deck. So 4 Temporal Isolations with flash, enchant creature, and the enchanted creature has shadow, so it can't block or be blocked by only creatures with shadow. Sorry, it can block or be blocked by only creatures with shadow. Prevent all damage that will be dealt by enchanted creature. So that's 1 and a white. And then we've got 4 Griffin guides. So 2 and a white, enchant creature, enchanted creature has +2/+2 and has flying. When enchanted creature is put into a graveyard, put a 2/2 white Griffin creature token with flying into play. So it'd be interesting to see with just what we're seeing here, beyond stuff getting into the graveyard through combat, what have we got that we can elect to get into the graveyard? I suppose, combat, or just deliberately not playing stuff and then discarding end of turn. Well, Saffi has a sacrifice ability actually on it. But you're getting, so when target creature is put into your graveyard from play, return that card. So it's replacing itself with another card on the battle. Although I'm assuming I'm right in that you can target Saffi. When target creature is put into your graveyard from play this turn, return that card to play. And then that will trigger the Griffin guide. Interesting. If you have it on it. Okay. Moving on then. 2 instants, Thrill of the Hunt, single green. Target creature gets +1/+2 until end of turn. It does have flashback on it. So you can play this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then remove it from the game. So you can have that sitting in the graveyard waiting to do flashback. While it's in there, it's going to contribute to these 2 cards. 23 lands. Okay, what have we got? 4 Flagstones of Trokair. So taps 4 white without any additional restraints on it or constraints. And when it's put into a graveyard from play, you may search your library for a Plains card and put it into play tapped. If you do, shuffle your library. We've got 4 forests. We've got 4 Horizon Canopies. So you can tap, pay 1 life, add green or white to your mana pool. 1, tap it, sacrifice Horizon sacrifice it, draw a card. We've got 4 Llanowar Reborns. So it comes into play tapped, tap it, add green to your mana pool. It has graft 1. So this land comes into play with a 1/1 counter on it. Whenever a creature comes into play, you may move a 1/1 counter from this land onto it. We've got 1 Pendle Haven. Again, another card that would have been in that time-shifted slot for the first set, for the time spiral set. Tap, add green to your mana pool. Tap, target 1/1 creature gets +1/+2 until end of turn. We've got 4 plains and then 2 Terramorphic Expanses. So you sack that, search your library for a basic land card and put it into play tap, then shuffle your library. We've got 8 sorceries in the deck as well. We've got an Edge of Autumn with the Future Sight border. And it's 1 on the green. It's a sorcery. And if you control 4 or fewer lands, search your library for a basic land card, put it into play tap, then shuffle your library. And it has cycling, which is involves sacrificing a land. So sacrifice a land, discard the card, draw a card. And then 4 Call of the Herds. Put a 3/3 green elephant creature token into play and it has flashback 3 in green. 15 cards in the sideboard. So far what we've seen is cards from Future Sight. Cards from the first set of the block, and then also, but not yet, we've seen these other time shifted cards. As well. Now, so far we haven't seen any regular. Have we seen any regular Future Sight stuff without the special borders? No. So what have we got in here in our sideboard? So 15 cards in our sideboard. 4 Sunlances. So single white deals 3 damage to target non-white creature. So this is one of these colour shifted ones from the middle set of the block. So it's from Plane of Chaos. And we have 4 Whirling Dervishes from Time Spiral. Again, these are the time shifted ones. 2 green, protection for black. At the end of a turn, if Whirling Dervish dealt damage to an opponent this turn, put a 1/1 counter on it, and it's a 1/1. Bound in Silence. It's a tribal enchantment rebel aura. So enchant creature. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. 2 and a white. 3 Cloudchaser Kestrels. 2 and 2 white. Creature bird, it's 2/2. And when it comes into play, destroy target enchantment. 1 white. Target permanent becomes white until end of turn. And then 2 Serrated Arrows. 4 to cast. Comes into play with 3 arrowhead counters on it. At the beginning of upkeep, if there are no arrowhead counters on Serrated Arrows, sacrifice it, tap it, remove an arrowhead counter from Serrated Arrows, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. So yeah, so if we include both the main board, the main deck, and the sideboard, then we've got cards from each of the sets in the block, because this is a block constructed tournament. So Time Spiral, Plane of Chaos, Future Sight. Of course, we don't have to. You don't have to when you're building a deck. But that's the limitations of your world, so to speak. But it looks like there's no sort of regular bordered Future Sight cards. Right, let's have a look. So we're still onto this lovely artwork. So yeah, just green and white. Okay, let's dive in. So yeah, I've got quite a number of other non-basics in here. Legendary lands from Time Spiral. Has a death trigger self on it. Tutorland Plains is tagged up as Tutorland to Battlefield, Ruins of Trokair. So that's interesting. This clearly couldn't have been a this was not a cycle. And I think this was a thing, wasn't it, in the... Well, maybe we'll have a look at that first. So let's just see what legendary lands may have been in that set. Okay, so that's Time Spiral. Let us see. So it would have been set TSP. I'll just take out that. Okay, so there was a number of those, but I'm interested in the land. Yeah, so a real mixed bag. Academy Ruins, which was I suppose, if you think about colours, a blue one. This is a white one. We've got Kirkheap, which is a red one, and then this, Gemstone Caverns, as well. Now, the other thing about Time Spiral, I always get confused with this. I don't think... We'll have a look when we have a look at the other cards, but I don't think the time-shifted cards were given a different set code as far as I know. As far as I can remember. In fact, let's have a look just across the sets in the block. What did they do? So there was Urborg, and then the Future Sight one, what was that? That was, just quickly look it up, FUT. Oh, none of those. Okay. So yeah, interesting one, not a lot, not really part of a cycle, but there's a bit of a hodgepodge of lands in there. And no doubt, my suspicions are, yeah, I've done this a few times. Probably last week as well, might have had that. Yeah, so you get the usual stuff when you do. You just look at throughout Magic's history, like what, historically, there it is. I bet, there it is, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember talking about this last week now, actually. Okay, let's move on. Horizon Canopy. Pretty cool. It's been reprinted a few times. As in Doctor Who. It's also in the Expeditions as well. Yeah, I do like this. It's very nice. Okay, so yeah, so we've got a cycle of Future Sight dual lands and this cycle of Horizon lands as well. Cool. So let's see what we've got. See how they manifested in Future Sight. Oh, they're nice. Oh, yeah, I've forgotten how nice these look. Look at that. But what you'll notice about them, yeah. So this one, isn't this something that they did in the next block those two mini blocks, Lorwyn, is it Shadowmoor? I'm sure there were lands that did this sort of weird filtering on two colours. So you're getting one, either black or red. So you put in one, you get two out, and either a combination of two black, black and red, or two red. But also you can just tap it for regular or for colourless mana. I was just looking to see. They don't all generate colourless mana, do they? So Grove of the Burn Willows does red or green, but for this one, each opponent gains one life. Horizon Canopy, you pay one life to get it to do green or white, and then it's sort of, I suppose, on it the colourless or mana of any colour cost. Here, there's a mana of any colour cost on this one. You can then sack it, tap it, sack it, and you draw a card. And then on this one, it can generate colourless mana. You add white to your mana pool. If you do that, you can only do it if you can control an island. And then for the blue one, it's plains. So and then River of Tears, add blue to your mana pool. If you played a land this turn, add black to your mana pool instead. So yeah, interesting how they've done that. So they all have ways of generating the appropriate 2 colours. And you can see here we've got they're allied, aren't they? Allied colours. But they're all slightly different. Now the other thing I think I pointed out here is it's also claiming to be a cycle of Horizon lands. So how does that work? Did I remember to... Oh yeah, I did. See how they did this? Oh my. So yeah, quite... Oh, it's in with these. Okay. Oh, there you go. So these were in what? Modern Horizons. But they were enemy colours, but same thing. So yeah, this is something you might notice with some Future Sight cards, that whatever they did at the time was pretty unique, I'm assuming, in many ways. But then those cards eventually, turned up somewhere along the line. Not all of them, but some of them that were on the in these special borders. And that was the I think the spin on it. It was like, well, these cards are things that we might do in the future in Magic. Now, of course, they didn't change the border to this degree, but the card, what the card does, its mechanic, something in the future. Llanowar Reborn. So this is from Future Sight, but regular. Okay, yeah, so maybe I misspoke when I said originally that. So, yeah, we have got one card. We have got a card here which is from Future Sight and is actually in a regular border. Now I've thought about that and actually properly noticed it. Okay, utility lands. There we go. Yeah, so they all come into play tapped, but you can see they have a number of different abilities in this, and this was adding into the rich tapestry of mechanics and abilities and themes that formed part of both, well, this set, but the block as a whole, I suppose. So you can see the one that generates white mana, that can also do a scry when it comes into play. This one, the blue one, does transmute. Then Dredge is on the black one, Hellbent is on the red one, and on the green one we've got Graft, which is the one we're interested in. So again, interesting to see the difference there. And again, fills into a number of categories. What's this creature fall thing? Also known as Alliance in Newcomb. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put it on one counter. Okay, so that's creature fall. Okay. So yeah, I suppose, like landfall. Yeah, so whenever a creature enters the battlefield, something happens. Okay. Terramorphic Expanse. Yep, we've had a look at this before. Fetch land, sacrifice self, tutor land to battlefield, Similar to Evolving Wilds, yeah, functional reprint. So this was the original. This one here. Got a Fabled Passage and an Escape Tunnel. So worse than Escape Tunnel, worse than Fabled Passage. So Terminal Moraine. Where did that come from originally? It was from Plane Shift. So it's an older card. What category does that fall into? Same sort of things, I suppose. But then, you know, again, it's interesting to see as you sort of move away from what the templating is on Terramorphic Expanse and Evolving Wilds, into slightly different sacrifice mechanisms and, you know, what you may or may not be getting. You know, then what comes into being worse than or similar to or whatever. So yeah. Promising Vein, Shire Terrace, yeah, Warped Landscape. Now Warped Landscape, what's that from? Let's see, Shadows over Innistrad. See where we end up a little bit. Yeah, so same sort of stuff. We haven't pushed it much further. Okay, Pendelhaven. Yep, time shifted card from Time Spiral. Originally from Legends. We'll have a look at the legendary cycle. So, referenced by Sword of the Meek. Referenced by Thrill of the Hunt. Yep. Pendelhaven Elder. Okay. And the Seed Core. Okay. It's a utility land. -1/-1 synergy. What's that? Aegis of the Meek. Wow. There we go. Legends. Yeah, again, interesting, isn't it, that they've got this in there, and yeah, but that's the only one, isn't it? There's no other ones of these ended up being included in there. So you get these sort of smorgasbord of lands. But even these lands themselves, I mean, they all generate the appropriate colour and mana, but then it's got quite different abilities on them. So the Hammerheim one plays around with land walking, and this one bounces Legends. This one is the one we're looking at. It's creatures, banding, and then First Strike or Swamp Walk. So yeah, real mixed bag. And yeah, they chose this one. And like I pointed out a moment ago, there was a whole load of other interesting lands in that set and the block as a whole. Call of the Herd. Another time shifted card. So similar to Trumpeting Herd. Yeah, this business of, you know, creating a 3/3 green elephant creature token. Trumpeting had a rebound on it. So this has got flashback. This has rebound. So if you cast a spell from your hand, exile as it resolves, at the beginning of your next end step, you may cast this card from exile without paying its mana cost. So that one's without. Yeah. That's 2 and 2 green versus 2 and a green. This one you have to pay the flashback cost. So this you just, you cast the card from exile without paying its mana cost. Okay. And yeah, quite a number of cast from graveyard stuff. And if we go back in time, oops, yeah, and I suppose no surprise to see that first happen in Odyssey. That's where flashback came from, and you can see here that sort of special symbol they just used at that point. And yeah, a whole load of flashback cards. And then if you go through historically, when did we next see flashback? Outside of, so they carried it over, and the symbol got carried over in the block, didn't it? Yeah. So Odyssey, Torment, then into Judgment. You see it one time in an unset, then we get some in Time Spiral. In fact, several there. And Future Sight, skipping Plane of Chaos, and so yeah, again that do that. But for all of them, is that all? That's all flashback, isn't it? And then these ones, it's as a result of retrace. And then we see flashback again in, was it Innistrad? And Dark Ascension. I don't think, did they spell it over into Avacyn Restored? Let's have a look. No. Well, yeah, why would they? It's a bit of an odd set, that one. Yeah, Amonkhet. Yeah, let's just reboot everything. Okay, yeah. Makes a lot of sense to see stuff like that in this set. So that was Care of, yeah, Aftermath was how that one was facilitated from the graveyard. And then we have Jumpstart. And of course we've got some Modern Horizon stuff here. Commander, yeah. It's cropping up in various forms. Oh, like Disturb. So they did it in Innistrad. That sort of cast from the graveyard thing. And so on. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's always interesting, I think, when you get these tags to just see how that, similar abilities, similar mechanics have like evolved over time with little tweaks here and there, and whether or not the original ones have come back, that sort of stuff. Okay, Mystic Enforcer. Did crop up again in Domineer Remastered. Yeah, here it is in its form in Odyssey. You can see, yeah, not. I mean, I really noticed the change in the text, and beyond, that and the different set symbol. It seems pretty subtle. It'd be interesting physically to look at two cards by card in paper, I think. Okay, so draft signpost card. Let's have a look at that in a moment. It's been errated. So what did it get errated to? Or not? Human Nomad Mystic. Threshold. Don't know, maybe I'm missing something. Not sure there. What am I missing? Oh yeah, okay, that's the other change. Now I see it. Yeah, okay. That's easy now. So yeah, this bit was changed as well. So originally it was a Nomad Mystic, and now in Time Spiral it became a Human Nomad Mystic. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sometimes I always have trouble spotting those. Sometimes it's really obvious. Other times, not so much. Right, what have we got here? So Domineer Remastered, it featured as a draft signpost card, but how was that spread out over the original sets then, if we were to look at the first printings? I suppose they get to pull from all over Domineer, don't they? Let's do the release date. Wow, okay, yeah, so Invasion, Plane Shift, Apocalypse, more Apocalypse, there's Odyssey, Plane of Chaos, and the Domineer set. Okay, it's interesting. Right, Griffin Guide. Yeah, I thought that's been in quite a few of those dual decks, you know. Knights versus Dragons, Ajani versus Nicol Bolas, and Heroes versus Monsters. Because they used to alternate, didn't they, between, I think, dual decks that were based on two Planeswalkers, and then dual decks that were based on another theme. So either like this, you got Knights versus Dragons, or Heroes versus Monsters, or was it? What's the other one? Was it Phyrexia versus the Alliance? I think. So yeah, alternate between a theme and a Planeswalkers. Okay. Griffin Guide references Elephant Guide in some way, but it's not like a colour shifted reprint. So what's this? 2 and a white. This is still 2 and a green, but this one's 3/3 and a 3/3 green elephant creature token. Yep. This card's got a death trigger on it. Gives flying. Flying's evasion. It's alliteration. I mean, there's a whole load of auras that pump stuff. But that's really interesting, that ability though, when the creature hits the graveyard. Or the enchanted creature hits the graveyard, you get to put a 2/2 white Griffin creature token into play. And there are loads of death trigger stuff. Oh, Temporal Isolation. I think this turned up last week. It's always a problem for me. I'm trying to remember like what cards I've seen that have turned up in decks. Short of me rewatching everything, and then rewatching it again, probably just to remember, and stuff that's turned up when I flip through cards. Because there's a little bit of line up with, when I do the Friday artwork video. Oh, it is a cycle. Yeah, so we've definitely looked at this then. Must have been last week or the week before. And of course, I will do what I normally do, which I'll make sure I include all the links to the other videos that, feature time spiral in some capacity, either, set musings or, stuff like that. Anything where I've done time spiral content. Or, just that particular era in Magic, should I say. Again, pretty loosey-goosey with the templating here to some degree. What's mana like? So this one is the only one that's not 2 mana. This one's 3. They are all actually flash. I mean, they're all auras, obviously. But yeah, let's play around a little bit here with the ability it imparts. Okay, Edge of Autumn. Let's have a look. Tutor land to battlefield, so if you control, search your library for a basic land card. Put it into play tap. That's interesting, isn't it? Because it's not like some of these other cards where it's comparing the amount of land you control to your opponent's. Like a sort of balance type thing. It's just looking at, say, if you control 4 for your basic lands, you get to go and look for some, for a basic land. I know there's other land cards that I'll sometimes check to see how many lands you've got, to whether you get the nice thing. But yeah, another tutor land. So yeah, we got another thing that tutors land. So we got nice ramp in this deck, or fixing and or ramp. So Riftsweeper. Okay, so this is one that it's definitely very specific. So choose a target face-up card that's removed from the game. Its owner shuffles it into his or her library. That's an interesting political card for EDH. Recursion from Exile. Oh yeah, I recognise these from a previous week, definitely, because of the doggo. Yeah, if you're gonna get me to recognise a card easier, then either stick a dog or a cat on it, and that's going to happen easier for me. Oh yeah, it was Pull from Eternity, wasn't it? I was talking about previous week, and then it was a bit patchy, and then we get all these ones. What, from Eldridge? Oh, okay, I thought. Okay. So yeah, Eldridge Moon. There was slightly, different mechanic, wasn't there? I'm thinking of. Because this is specifically recursion from Exile. So whereas the other cards around that time interacted with exiled cards, but in a slightly different way. Tarmogoyf. Wow. So yeah, been reprinted a few times. Can't remember what this was, what the price got up to at the time. But yeah, they stuck it in some Modern Masters stuff. That's rather handy. Spoiler alert, we've got Modern Masters deck set musings this week. That's rather worked out rather well. Of course, Time Spiral Remastered. Yeah, that's good. They reused the original artwork, but not the borders, not the border. I'm trying to remember if I did actually pull a Tarmogoyf or not. Yeah. Not from, well, who knows actually. Well, we'll find out today, won't we? Because I'll also, this week, I'll find out today. You won't find out until a few days after this video goes out, but I'll be going through my Future Sight cards actually. I don't remember it, but I think it might be for one of the others. The problem is when they change the artwork like that, sometimes it creates a false memory for me. Because I remember it so well, I think I must have pulled a card. Okay, card types in graveyard matter, future mechanic reference. Mechanical, okay, there's lots of interesting things to look at here. Similar to Lost, Souls of the Lost. Chimneygoyf. Oh, doesn't want that. Oh, there we go, yeah. Test card. Right. So 59 cards where that's the case. Doesn't look like I've been down this rabbit hole, but yeah, stuff that obviously they've done it, but they don't do it a lot. And I suppose you have to be so careful. Because wasn't it the case that this was originally supposed to be just star? Yeah, there's a story behind this which I just cannot remember off the top of my head, but something that went a bit awry, I think, with Tarmogoyf. Yeah, so Lurgoth, I'm just looking off camera, off screen at the notes in MTG Wiki. Lurgoth type creatures' power and toughness is variable depending on the number of different card types in a player's graveyard. Due to the remarkable speed at which the creature can grow and its performance in top tier decks, has become one of the most sought after cards in the set. This card's reminder text foretold of the card type Planeswalker. Oh yeah, of course it hadn't come out yet, had it? That was until the next set. Right. And then you get, yeah, Planeswalkers and Tarmogoyf in standard. Oh dear. That was not good. So, yeah. Oh yeah, the whole delirium thing, of course. Yeah. So... yeah, that was 4 or more cards. So sort of. Okay, mechanical foreshadow. Cards that reference other card type or mechanic not yet seen in the game. Yeah, so this. Yeah, people always get very excited about this, particularly when they're spoilt. You know, it's like, oh, hang on, that's something that we've not seen yet. So what do we got? Shield of Caldra from Darksteel, Erase, not the Urza's Legacy one, Steam Flogger Boss, Iavugin. Let's just actually make sure we do it. It's easy to see here. I've just got it slight. That's better. Okay, it's Tarmogoyf there. Yeah, so now you can see that was in World Wake. Yeah, Bolas Planeswalker spell. I'm assuming that one because it mentions battle. Okay, Serra Avenger. What's that? Oh, okay. Champs and States. Oh, that must have been a promo card. Cool. It's in the Magic Online theme deck. 2013. There's also online promos. Cool. Okay. Drawback, namesake spell. Turns taken matter. Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to look at. Look at that, see. Not very often. Okay. Oh yeah, one of these Vanguard ones. Time Machine, Serra Avenger. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's not a lot of. So, if we pull out all the, like, you know, things like, so not including this, maybe that, and then these ones, alchemy cards. What are we left with? So we're left with this, which is the card we're looking at. Jumpstart Historic Horizons, which, yeah, doesn't count either. And Outlaws of Thunder Junction, which hasn't been released yet. Okay, there we go. Spoiler alert, sorry. Yeah, so, okay. What's it? Oh, I'm trying to remember now. I haven't had to use this for a while. No. I know it was something like in paper. You'll have to excuse me. It's such a long time since I've used this. Oh, there we go. It was that. In code on paper. Yeah. Thanks for someone that gave me the original tip for that, which I've now forgot and then remembered. Okay, so these are all ones that are in paper or will be in paper. So this was Mystery Booster playtest card, and then this one was in a non-set. So yeah, not something that they do very often. Saffi has been remastered. Oh yeah, these ones. So Death Trigger, reanimate creature, references Lurgoyf. And similar to malaria, living cure. References to angelic renewal. Oh yeah, Marsh Affair, that's something we've looked at in previous weeks. So that's where it's creatures that sacrifice themselves for benefit. Okay, so these two colour ones, yeah, interesting ones. Okay, let's have a look at these. Look at that. Haven't looked at them yet. Trying to do this by colour, don't we, really? White, blue, blue, black, black, red, red, green, green, white. So allied. We've got Ith, Dronu, Kervek, Stone Brow, and Saffi Eriksdotter. Now Strandlu. I don't know if it's going to tell me. Lord of the Undead. I'm just trying to think whether... Yeah, okay. No, that answers my question. So I just thought it was... had been a different... like on a card. And it was a, you know, a legendary creature. But a different card, so Dranlu, but yeah, you know, on a different card. Still a legendary creature, I think. Yeah. Yeah, Kervek has. So, how much is it for that little group of individuals? If we do it by price ascending. Oh, so Saffi is the most expensive. Oh no, what did I do there? Yeah, I meant to do ascending. Yeah, so yeah, Saffi is the most expensive one. I do somewhere a copy of this. Stonebrow. Okay. Yep, nice little collection there. Thrill of the Hunt. Instant speed. Pump. With flashback. Comes from graveyard because of flashback. Giant growth with the set mechanic. Yeah, so this was part of a cycle of which we must have seen this before because, yeah, Mystical Teachings is here, which we've definitely looked at yet. Here we go. So I'll have a look again while we're at it. So yeah, Momentary Blink, Mystical Teachings, Strangling Soot, Ancient Grudge, and Thrill of the Hunt. So here we get that, yeah, blink effect with flashback, tutoring with flashback, but specifically for instant cards or cards with flash, creature destruction for 3 toughness or less, artifact destruction, and then the one we're looking at, which is the +1/+2 pump spell. Whirling Dervish. Now we did look at that. That cropped up in a deck last week, I think. Dune Rider Outlaw. So what's that? Yeah, it's a colour shifted one. So originally that was in... Now I'm assuming it must have been... Was it around the same... Yeah. Okay. Ah, I see. That's interesting. So that's quite cool, actually. So what happened was they put the colour shifted one in Plane of Chaos, so they colour shifted it into black, and the original one, which was the one we're looking at, which is Whirling Dervish, was in was a time shifted card in Time Spiral. It was in the time shifted slot. I wonder how many other cards they did that with, where a card that's in one slot is then also where a card is in one shifted slot is also in a shifted slot in another set in this block. Sunlance, so another colour shifted card from Plane of Chaos, or well, I say another shifted card, and this one's a colour shifted one, and that was originally Strafe from. Yeah, I'm terrible at recognising these sometimes. Plane shift, funnily enough. And this is the other problem I have. I always get muddled up when I'd see plane shift, plane chase. Yeah, so I have to really think. That's why I'm quite hesitant in these episodes, whether it's, like the set was Time Spiral or plane shift or plane chase. Yeah. Cloudchaser Kestrel, only ever in Time Spiral. So what does this going into the Tagger tell us? Do we learn much? So interesting. So it's, oh, I see, right. So yeah, it's colour change refers to the fact that it's changing the colour. Okay. It's got evasion, removal, enchantment, destroy, removal, or destroy. References Haven, Cloudchaser, yeah, I can see that. So it's a Haven Cloudchaser, but Haven Cloudchaser didn't have the ability to change the colour. Cloudchaser Eagle, yeah, same sort of thing. Aura Griffin. On the Aura Griffin, it can change the colour, but it can't blow up artifacts. Sorry, enchantments. So, yeah, I imagine that having the ability to colour change cards on Magic is a thing, and from way back in Ice Age. Shift spell S. And it's a creature. SHYFT. During upkeep, you may change the colour of shift to any colour or combination of colours. Interesting. What's prismatic territory? Well, those astral cards, wasn't it? And then, of course, yeah, these all. Okay. Interesting. Oh, I suppose, yeah, because it's becoming, yeah, okay, so it's a land, and then it's becoming a particular creature of a certain colour, so that would also be changing the colour. Serrated arrows, yeah. So, gives --/ counters. Referenced by infused arrows. It's mirrors weapon rack, so this is a 4. Weapon rack does +1/+1s. Yeah, pretty unique counter, which I know when I first started doing the set musings episodes and deck musings, I spoke a lot about, things like building decks with unusual counters in them. So we'll have a quick look at that again, but. This, yeah, -1/-1 counters. So there's, various sets and reasons based on the set why that is going on in the set and what it's being, what it ties into, I suppose. The one I suppose sticks in my mind as an early card, although I wouldn't have opened these at the time, I think I've got one somewhere, is Skeleton Ship. And here it was originally from Homelands. Yeah. But yeah, Blowfly infestation around this time because of the whole wither thing as well. So you've got, you know, wither doing -1 mount, -1 counters. You've got later on, so that's all through, you know, Lorwyn. Sorry, Shadow. Hang on, let me go back to where it first started So we got Shadowmoor. So from those sort of mini block, one of the two mini blocks. Then into Eventide. Again because of Wither. And then we have it in Scars of Mirrodin because of Infect. And then beyond that, you know, it spills over into Mirrodin Besieged. Because, you know, it's quite a major thing in that, you know, in the set, and then in the sets in the block, and then into New Phyrexia we had it, and then crops up again. So in Amonkhet it's -1/-1 shenanigans, and then subsequently Hour of Devastation, I meant to say. And finally, Murders at Karloff Manor. And then, yeah, unique counters. So there's 134 of those in Magic, and takes lots of different forms in terms of the type of card that it might appear on, I think. But let's just put it on a timeline. Whoops. There we go. So living artifact. And we see on enchantments and creatures, instants and so on. Yeah. Javelin counters, +1/+2 counters, yeah, all sorts of stuff. What's Contagion? That's a -2/-1 counter. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's there. It's tempting. Yeah, the unique counters EDH deck. And then finally Bound in Silence, which is this tribal enchantment Rebel Aura. Now, where are we? Yeah, future mechanic reference. So I believe that's there because having tribal, am I right that having tribal things like tribal instances and sorceries wasn't a thing yet? I think that's right. Luminous Bonds. Okay. So is that it, but without the tribal enchantment stuff? Look at that mixed subtypes. Let's see what we get there. Unique type line. No other card has the same type line. Okay. 578. That's quite a number there. These cards have subtypes on the same type line that belong to different card types, for example. Oh, okay. Oh, have we been... No, we haven't. Okay, cool. This is a good thing to end on. I always like it when it pans out like this. I don't, plan any of these rabbit holes. Okay. So what have we got here? Yeah, pretty unique. yeah, no surprise because of the introduction in these sets and the use of tribal enchantment artifact. There's also an opportunity to create a mixed subtypes that are unusual. Eldrazi Conscription. I just love this card. It's just so over the top. I mean, it's a high cost 8, but yet +10/+10 and trample and annihilation too. I think in the past, I'm pretty sure I've just thrown it in when we used to do the Commander Fodder episodes now and again when it would come up. Yeah, that's got to go in the deck. So do you think you could, I don't know. I mean, if you were going to build, just for fun, if you were going to build a mixed subtypes commander deck, I mean, it would have to be, you'd have to use a Wooburg commander, wouldn't you? I think we got white. What do we need access to here? White, green, red, blue, black. So yeah, but you need to be. So I suppose, what would you choose? What's the most? Yeah, what's the? It's a shame this is not like multicolour. Is there anything else I've missed which is a multicolour creature legend? Some of these you couldn't include because they're, I think we're only ever in alchemy. But yeah, I suppose although you wouldn't be able to find one specifically that was an unusual mixed subtype that's not appeared anywhere else in Magic. What you could do is pick a Wooburg commander, which is, a Minestrone, Minestrone commander. Is that even a term in Magic? So if I did, what's the best way to do this? So 5 colour. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I know we've been here before. 5 colour legendary creatures. Actually, strictly speaking, I should really do that, shouldn't I? Because then that's going to pick stuff that maybe it's 5 colour because of the Moribund. So I suppose I would say the lazy one, but yeah, one to go for is Moribund, because it's just, if you could manage, I mean, you couldn't. I suppose what I'm getting at is, I can't even see any pattern here. Like, I'm just unsure whether you could even leverage with the creatures we've got. I mean, beast, dog, cat, insect, rabbit. Wow. Yeah, we can't really even lowest common denominator unless you played a card. I suppose you could play a card which says, makes all of your cards a certain type, and then you make sure that the card type you choose for this is that same card type. But I suppose the go-to ones, if you're not, things like this I consider to be like utility commanders, have cool utilities on them. Obviously you're not really playing a lot of elementals. Slivers, you're not really. Scarecrows, no. Progenitors, we get protection from anything, but yeah. It's allies, isn't it? What's the one with most amount of text down here. Oh, well, there we go. I think that's got to be the one, hasn't it? It's a legendary creature, wombat bat chameleon from Unsanctioned. I'm sure that's fine. Could just play on that. Yeah, so in terms of the most sort of hybrid of things, this wombat bat chameleon. Surprised I didn't come up in here as a mixed subtypes. Maybe it did and I didn't spot it. Did I go all the way down? Yeah. Interesting. Okay, there we have it. So hopefully you enjoyed that rather laconic trip down various rabbit holes. I must admit, if you haven't guessed already, I'm super chilled this morning. I did something I don't normally do when I do filming. Usually I do all my filming and then go out for a walk afterwards. This morning it was so lovely out, the sun was out. It was about 1 degree though, so a little bit chilly. I went out for my morning walk, or I went out for a walk in the morning before I filmed, as opposed to on the day I film where I normally wait till the afternoon just to get all the filming out of the way. And I came back and I just feel so relaxed. I'm almost like I'm falling off my chair. So yeah, hopefully everybody hasn't fallen asleep as a result, because I definitely feel like doing that, and unfortunately I've got 3 other videos to shoot, so I better get myself together. So thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in a future video.